Welcome to a conversation with a community leader, sponsored by Leadership Kitsap, a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to developing new leadership in our community. And it's my pleasure today to be able to welcome one of those new leaders. I'm Cary Bozeman, the host, and I'm the former mayor of both Bellevue and Bremerton, Washington. And my guest today is Miah Davis. Miah, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Cary.
You're welcome. Am I pronouncing your first name correct?
It's Miah. There's only a few people in my life, my mom and my wife, that call me Jeremiah.
So that's interesting. Okay, I got you. And Miah is the head basketball coach at Bremerton High School, correct?
Correct. Going on my 7th year.
You're your 7th year. Wow. Miah, where were you born? And we'll get, before we talk basketball in the high school, where were you born and where'd you grow up?
Born right there, Harrison Hospital, 1981.
I'll be darned. So what'd your folks do here?
My dad worked in the shipyard for a while, and then he got out and then went over, transferred over to Keyport. My mom's used to work for the Bremerton Sun a long time ago as an accountant. Now she works over at the University of Washington, working with student accounts.
Did you, we'll get into basketball career, but did you play other sports when you were a young guy growing up, or did you just play basketball?
Oh yeah, my go-to sport was soccer. A lot of people think I should have played soccer instead of basketball. Still to this day, but it goes hand in hand. I think both sports complement each other.
Oh yeah. Do you have children yourself, or you've got brothers and sisters?
Oh no, family of 5. We grew up 3 younger sisters, 1 older brother. So there's a lot of fighting in the house, but a lot of love.
Any of your brothers and sisters play sports?
Yeah, we grew up in a household full of sports. My parents are originally from South Carolina, and my dad from Columbia, my mom from Charleston. So baseball was one of the sports, of course, basketball. Football was kind of iffy, but growing up in Washington, my sisters ran track and played basketball, and me and my brother did every sport imaginable.
Yeah. You? I don't know how tall you are. How tall are you?
I'm 6 feet and still growing.
Did you grow? Did you get tall early, or did you grow later?
I was pretty. Just grew with the crowd. I kind of was right where I needed to be.
I remember when I was in junior high, I'm same size I am now, which is 5'11". Mm-hmm. I thought I was going to be big, and I wanted to be big. I never grew another inch after that.
I'm the same way. I used to hang on poles because Michael Jordan did it. I thought it'd give me a few inches. Maybe did, maybe didn't. But my dad's side of the family, everybody's tall. And I guess I got my mom's side because I'm all taller than all my uncles and my aunts. So
where'd you go to middle school?
I went to the junior high, Bremerton Junior High, before they split it between the junior high and middle school. So I actually was the first class to graduate from Mountain View Middle School before we got back over to the junior high. So a lot of transitions back then. Yeah.
Did you play basketball in middle school?
Yes. Coach Mike Chase was.
Did they have a basketball team?
Mm-hmm. We had a basketball team. At the junior high we did. At the middle school we did not. Because that was our first year going to middle school. So they're trying to decide what they're doing sports-wise because it was 6th and 7th. And then the junior high was 8th and 9th.
And then the high, is that where they started East High School after that?
No, East High, they split, I think, in 89, I want to say. Yeah. They split in 89. Then after that, they merged to become the school we are now at the high school.
What 15. Year did you graduate from high school?
I'm at the great class of 1999.
All right. Well, I'm a little ahead of you. So you played on I remember, you played on a great high school basketball team, right?
Yeah, we were well balanced, well coached. Actually, Les Ethorn actually coached me my last year. He's one of the assistant head coaches, Casey Lindbergh, which is our AD now.
Right.
And Aaron Lavelle was one of my coaches, which he is a superintendent. So I got strong ties in the Bremerton community, just coaching wise, and was able to establish a relationship at the same time. But we did well that year. We ended up getting 5th in state, gained a lot of respect. from the teams out in Seattle and Tacoma area as well.
Yeah. How many years? Let's see. You went to state all years, all 3 years, or what years did you go to state?
We went to districts my junior year, lost the first game, and then that was my sophomore year. My junior year, we went to the final game in districts and lost on a bogus call. I'm still calling this today on a bogus call.
You still remember it, huh?
I think that's when I got my fuel to my fire, because I was the reason behind the blocking foul that led to 2 free throws that helped them seal the game. So ever since then, I think I switched my mindset from soccer to basketball.
Were you were you on the same team with Williams?
No,
Marvin
Marvin.
Williams?
I think he's 8 years behind me. Not that long, maybe 6 years behind me.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm like,
would you say he was the best basketball player ever come out of Bremerton?
Oh yeah, he's a great player. And a lot of people don't give him his respect due. I mean, the guy played 15 years in the league, and he's started about 65 to 70% of that time. And he's just it's great. It's a great human being, and he's very humble.
Why didn't they win the state tournament? They had a heck of a team.
Yeah, it's dynamics. Sometimes I'm dealing with coaching now that I see it. It's kind of like a wave. You get certain guys who grew up playing together that whole time, so that team chemistry is there. And then when they get to the high school level, it's easy to coach. You really don't even have to coach so much. You're almost managing the game, rather than when you're trying to find pieces to fit that puzzle, you're going to have more few bumps in the road and lose the games you should win. And then at the same time, you don't accomplish your goals at the end of the season. It just happens like that for some reason. The basketball gods do that, align it that way.
Yeah, I'm an old basketball coach myself. I went to school to be a coach and got my degree in education and all that. And I ended up working for Boys and Girls Club of America for 25 years. But I coached AAU. I think I've told you my story. And for maybe 10 years. And I just loved it. I played high school basketball for Lincoln High in Seattle. It was a long time ago, but we had a great coach, and we went to the state tournament every year. Didn't matter, and we won back-to-back state tournaments 2 years. But his name was Norm Dolfer, and he believed in 2 things really big. He believed in boxing out.
Lost art.
The best thing ever happened to him in a game is when the ball went off the rim and bounced on the floor. So nobody got it because everybody was being boxed out.
Yeah.
And he believed in man-to-man defense, and he believed in turning your guy you were guarding to his weak side.
Yeah.
And you never stood up straight in defense. You overplayed every single time. He did not believe a guy could score going to his weak side. He just didn't believe it. And he was a gruff old guy, but boy, he had his beliefs. And sometimes I didn't always get along with him because I was pretty good at challenging people when I was even a kid. So, but it was a great experience in my life playing high school basketball. And I wasn't even a starter, but football was my game. But I know the difference between really good coaching. And I think you're a good coach in high school.
I appreciate it.
I think your kids play well. They play good defense, and that's the kind of thing I believe in. Miah, where'd you go to college?
I took the long road. Some people know my story. A lot of people don't. I ended up at a college getting recruited by Gonzaga. I should have went there, but took SATs late. Ended up going to Modesto Junior College because Modesto Junior College. Ended up going there for a year. We had an excellent team. I believe 6 players, including myself, ended up going to the D1 ranks. So after Modesto, I followed my coach to Stanislaus State, which is Division II, right down in Turlock, California. And then had a friend that was playing on the women's team who told her uncle, his name was Bob Thomason, about me. And I the next year ended up moving over to University of the Pacific in Stockton, California.
Uh-huh.
So I always tell people there's a will, there's a way. It's just how you approach your dreams and situations.
So you were recruited mostly your best recruiting school was probably Gonzaga, and they probably weren't all that as good as they are now, huh?
Oh, they weren't as good as us,
Yeah,
but now
yeah,
they're a solid program. They've been so around that time is when they're just getting their program to where it is to today. So that
uh-huh.
they did all their groundwork then and established what kind of program they wanted to be, and they haven't looked back since.
Yeah, they've got a great program and a great coach.
Yep,
Well, they
yep,
got it going, right? I mean, they make it the NC2A every year,
every year.
every year. Um, so after college, I think I know you. Didn't you play in Europe basketball for a while?
Yep, actually went to the D League for 1 year, developmental league, the NBA developmental league.
Did you have ambitions to be a professional player in the NBA or something?
When I was in college, I just loved the experience. I was given a chance. God gave me a chance just to because my dream when I was younger. I'm a big, huge Michigan fan, so the Fab Five was a team I looked up to. Just being
Yeah.
able to play in that atmosphere. March Madness was my goal, and I actually accomplished that goal, be able to play in March Madness. So college was kind of where I thought I'd end up. I didn't think afterwards until agents were getting a hold of me after my senior year campaign. And then I said, well, I guess they think I can play at the next level.
Were you a scorer in college?
I could do both. I'm a two-way player. Well, now they call it a three-way player, able to shoot, pass, defend on all ends, every end of the floor. Whatever the team asks of me, I could pretty much handle.
Okay. Well, so tell me about the Europe experience. Where'd you go? Where'd you play?
First couple years, I played in Poland. That's where I met my
Where?
wife in Poland.
Oh, Poland. Okay.
Yep.
Where?
And Swoops, Poland.
Uh,
Swoops, it's up north by the Baltic Sea, over by
yeah.
Gdansk. Yeah, so
Wow.
I played there for a few years. That's where I met my beautiful wife, Sylvia. She's born and raised there.
So she's Polish?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
To,
great.
to the bone.
That's great. That's great. What was the weather like there? It must have been cold in the winter, huh?
It was long winters. I believe my first year, it snowed from November to early March.
So
So that was
How many American players would they allow on one of those teams?
from we called it three Americans and one Bozeman. A Bozeman is one other player outside of the country of
Uh-huh.
play. So they
Uh-huh.
bring three Americans, is me, Omar Barlett, Alex Dunn, and then we had one Bozeman was Thermal.
And how long was the season?
About 10 months. 10 months
10 months.
once you get down to the actual playoffs, we always made long runs in the playoffs. Usually it's about 8 months, but if you make the playoffs, it's about 10 months. So
What was the name of the city you were living in?
it's called Swoopsk. It's
Swoop.
weird, yeah, because it's spelled Slupsk. So
Uh-huh.
the S and the L is like a whoof, and then the rest spells that Swoopsk.
How'd you deal with the language issue?
It was difficult at first. I was walking around with one of those translation books. I guess it's easier for people now with these smartphones, but back then,
Uh-huh.
even technology-wise, actually being able to swipe my card was non-existent over there. Now it is. When I played there, you always had to take a certain amount of cash out because everybody dealt with which they call zloty over
Uh-huh.
there. So you had to
Uh-huh.
carry around cash rather than your card. But then asking,
How
you
did you
got
guys how did you guys travel in Europe game to game?
bus at
Uh,
first, and then my next year, because we played so well, we got to play in the FIBA Cup, so we got to fly a few places
uh-huh.
around, which is
So
pretty cool.
did you play basketball in other cities in Europe besides that one?
Yep. So I played usually wherever I played in Germany and Belgium, Cyprus, or Greece. We always played on a second season, so we played in our country league, and then we played in either FIBA or the Euro Cup league, which allowed us to travel to Russia and Moscow. I played
Wow.
in Italy,
What a great
France.
experience. Did you enjoy the experience besides the basketball?
Oh yeah, just seeing how ancient our society is as humans. Different cultures, different way of living, different expectations. Just the
Wow.
meet and greet is different over there. Over here we shake hands and barely give hugs. Over there, it's like, it's 2 smooches or 3 smooches on the cheeks when you like first meet somebody, which I was like, it's culture shock in a sense, because they do things a certain way, we do things a certain way. It's all about accepting the differences and allowing yourself to be a little vulnerable.
Yeah. Um, I don't know what the pay is for basketball players in Europe, but my guess is it's not like the NBA, right?
Not quite like the NBA, but you can live comfortable.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So how many years total did you play in Europe?
I played 10 total.
10 total. Did you ever have a chance to come back and play in the NBA?
My first couple years, even like out of my college campaign, I've tried out for every NBA team on the West Coast.
Oh, you did?
Played summer league with Dallas Mavericks and played summer league with Sacramento Kings. So in my era, it was more about the big men. Now it's about the guards. One of my good friends told me that the other day. He was like, "You just came out in the wrong era."
Yeah.
Because everything's guard orientated now, which, every time I watch the game, I feel like I need to go outside and shoot some jumpers just to fill that void.
You can probably still play too, Miah. I'm sure of that. I bet you take some of your kids, one-on-one and teach them a lesson once in a while.
Well, I always tell them, don't make me mad or I'll have to go put my shoes on.
That reminds me, one day, I could play a little bit, and Marvin Williams came into Y one day when I was there. I had my suit on and everything, but he and I got to talking, and he was just a great guy. And so I said, "Here, show me something, Marvin." And so I put a little defense on it for about 2 minutes. It was fun. He was good with me. He was really good. What brought you back to Bremerton after all those years playing basketball in Europe?
I always felt like I had a calling to give back. I never wanted to run away from, not to say I was running away from anything, but I always feel like if you become an expert or professional at something, I think it's your duty to give that back some kind of way, even through a stranger or people you know. It's almost like putting yourself out there to help people along their journey, because
that's very admirable. I wish more people felt that way. So all the way along, you thought you would probably come back to Bremerton at some point.
At some point, I mean, I still have aspirations. Maybe a few years down the road, maybe 8 to 10 years down the road, life's going to be a little bit different, and I'll have to make, some different decisions about where I want to live. But as of now, I want to, leave a legacy to where when I do leave Bremerton, I want people to know I tried my best and to help in the community out as much as I could. And
how old were you when you stopped playing basketball yourself?
Oh, I don't know, 34? No, 33, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I stopped counting. Every year seems like it was just a blessing to actually play.
So the person that hired you, just right, is currently the AD. Was your old coach, wasn't he?
So Jeff Barton was the AD who hired me in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
And he still is highly involved in Bremerton High School wrestling. Great guy. He hired me my first
But
3
the
terms.
current AD was a basketball coach at Bremerton too, right?
Yes, he coached me. His first year, he coached me. We went to state and got 5th in state. Nice. My first year, his first year coaching me. And then from there, he went 10 years. He coached for 10 years. And then took a few years off, then came back. And then,
when I went to state, every game, all 36 teams went to Heck Ed. And it was 3 days or 4 days straight. And it was the greatest high school experience of your life. I mean, it was just every high school came. I mean, 12,000 people every day. It was. I'm sorry they got away from that. That was just a great experience.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've been working on the side with other coaches, figuring out ways we can, bring, because Bremerton usually for me, usually you walk outside, it was time to play ball. You find pickup games everywhere.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about high school basketball this year. Are you guys going to play? What's going
Well,
to
that's
happen?
that's the goal. The start date is set for January 4th. So January
Oh,
4th is the
January
start date.
4th. You could start
2021.
practicing.
Yes. As of now, they're going back to the drawing board to see what decisions are going to be made in the future. Depending on, each day is a day of uh, different decisions, different motives. How we're going to play this thing out. I had an idea of just putting all the kids in a bubble.
Yeah.
They're already remotely from home, so maybe using the school
What are they
facilities.
gonna do in football?
Football is moved to the spring. So
Oh, it'll be spring.
after basketball season, they'll go right
So
into football.
it would be after basketball because you've got kids that play both of them, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, I hope it works out. This is a strange time. That once in 100 years, and we just got to do the right thing here, whatever that is.
Yeah, I
But
think we just got
try
to
to
adapt.
try to stay safe.
Yeah.
Miah, you've been coaching 7 or 8 years. What's your coaching philosophy? What do you believe in?
We believe in defense. I mean, I believe in defense creates easy offense. So if we buckle down and exert all the energy on defense, you make it difficult for them to score, and you guys are talented enough to score yourself. Makes the game a lot more easy, and just understanding, having a good basketball IQ. You don't have to be the fastest, you don't have to jump the highest, but like you're getting back to like boxing out.
Yep.
Uh, you know,
Another thing, our coach
yeah.
he didn't like blocking shots.
No, me neither.
He said you guys stay on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Stay on your feet, box them out, get the rebound.
Don't give your offensive player
If you're
advantage.
jumping up in the air, you're out of position.
Yep.
Now, the whole NBA game now, or even in colleges, everybody's trying to block shots and dunk.
It's like a 1% chance.
Yeah, right. So I believe in just what you said: defense, stay on your feet, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Don't get me going on basketball, Maya. I love the game. So let's talk about your team. What kind of team it looks like you got coming back this year at
We got a real fast team. All the boys are above the rim right now, which I've been waiting for. And they all genuinely have love for each other, and that's what I'm excited about. It's not about wins and losses are a huge thing in sports, but them establishing a long-lasting friendship while they when they're down in the trenches, and they got me yelling at them almost every day, and they can get through that adversity. That just gets you ready for the real world.
No, a lot of lessons in life. I'll tell you, I cried my senior year after our last game. I knew, because I knew I wasn't going to play in college, but I knew it was just the most wonderful experience, my high school sport, that I would ever have. And I was so sad it was over. But I still have friends, and I'm in my 70s, that I played high school sports with.
Mm-hmm.
I still keep in contact with those guys.
That's
Miah,
awesome.
what do you do? I know how much time coaching takes. It's a lot of work, and kids need help and support in other areas besides just basketball, and you have to deal with that and their parents and all those kind of things. What do you do when you're not coaching basketball?
Watching film. No, but no, I try to spend as much time I can with my family and friends. I mean, because basketball does take a lot of time mentally and physically away from the ones that you really love, well, the ones that you're with, the ones you go to sleep with, especially. So I try to make time for them, especially what's going on now. I've noticed how much time I've been missing from them, and I try to let the ones I know that I really appreciate them for dealing with me, through the process of something that I love. Because a lot of relationships don't last because one or the other side doesn't respect the fact that, hey, this is what I love to do. This helps me with whatever I'm dealing with mentally. Not to say I'm dealing with something mentally, but sometimes going to your happy place is the best place you can be as an individual, and then you're able to give whatever time and attention you need to the other aspects you love that's around you. So that's kind of where I draw the line of making time for them. and not being selfish and making time for myself all the time.
Yeah, and life's a ongoing, continuing education, right? You just
Yeah.
every day you can learn something. Every day you can get better, and the way you deal with people and get kinder and those kind of things every day.
Yep.
And if
Every day.
when people realize that, as you do, obviously, um, then it makes life really a exciting place to be.
Mhm.
I'm well into my 70s, and there's not a day goes by when I don't try to read something or talk to a friend or talk to somebody about understanding something more than I do today, and getting a little smarter and a little better about it.
Mhm.
And I'll be that way till the good Lord takes me. So
I like it.
it's just a great way to spend your life. Continue to try to grow emotionally, all other ways,
Mhm.
and be good friends. I'm going to ask you a basketball question. Who's your favorite professional basketball
Now or in the past?
player? Anytime.
Well, if I do athletes, like all-time athletes, I mean, Griffey was one of my inspirations growing up. Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Of course, Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, Cal Ripken Jr., LeBron James. I like players who transcend the game and
If you were
make it
going to
their own.
start a professional basketball team today, you
Mhm.
could have the number one draft pick. Who would it be?
I'd get them
Out
in
of,
their prime or right now.
no, out of the NBA right now. You're starting an expansion team. You get to pick any player you want to start.
Oh, I'm all team LeBron.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good pick.
You can't go wrong with that.
So my favorite player of all time, I've got a bunch of them, but not in basketball. I liked Mickey Mantle when I was growing up. That's how old I am.
Hmm.
But how would you describe your leadership style, Maya?
I'm more of like a Phil Jackson, like almost like a Zen. I wouldn't say a Zen master. I haven't mastered coaching, but
Uh-huh.
I take the approach where I actually, if I walk into a gym and just say a kid's working out, I really dissect what they're doing, how they're doing it, to try my best analogy of how they can be helped. Because I think some people might say, "Hey, I'm gonna do this way, and this is the only way you're gonna be able to get better." Well, I take a different approach where how can I make you better to make the team better and make yourself better with confidence? Because you don't have to get in sports in general. If you don't have confidence, then you might as well hang it up. I mean, that self-confidence is,
Yep.
I mean, it's the most important thing, especially when you got fans on the sideline, when you're on the road, what they're saying, you got your coach on you, and one mistake cannot define who you are. You got to get up quick and keep going.
I was a foster kid, and I lived in a lot of different homes. And my teachers and my coaches were people that had the most impact on me, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Maya, I've enjoyed our conversation today. I've wanted to talk to you for a long time. I've watched you, and I have great respect for you and the way you work, and
Likewise.
the contribution you make to kids. And I wish you're young. Your whole life's in front of you. You're going to have lots of opportunities, and I just appreciate having the conversation. I learned a little bit. I learned a lot today myself. So, thank you for joining me. Thank you all for being here today on a conversation with a community leader, which Maya certainly is. And we'll see you next time with another conversation with a community leader.